everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ruth Steele and I'm going to be guiding you through this yoga for post-run. So kick off your shoes and join me here on the mat. We're going to begin in all fours. Make sure you spread the fingertips wide, stack the shoulders above the wrists and stack the hips directly above the knees. And we're just going to start gently shaking the hips side to side as if we were shaking a big tail feather. Start noticing how your intercostals and the side of the body feels. And then just let go of the neck here. Really let the neck hang. Maybe you get some nice juicy little stretches down the back of the neck and the side of the neck as we take 3 deep breaths here, in through the nose, and just sigh it out through the mouth. Twice more, the elbows are soft. Good, gently we'll cat and cow here as we inhale, relax the tummy, elbows are bent, lift the tailbone and start to look up. Really enjoy this elongation down the front body, you earned it. As you exhale, round through the body, push the back of your heart to the ceiling, really by fanning the shoulder blades apart and tucking the tailbone. When you're ready to inhale again, that's your indication your body is ready for the next cow. Tummy is relaxed. Tailbone's lifted, pelvis tilting forward, exhale, round through your cat pose. Now tuck the tailbone and can you squeeze that pelvic floor, ladies? Squeeze and engage the glutes a little bit, gents. Let's do a few more here with your breaths. Inhale to your cow pose, exhale to your cat. And let's start to notice what's different each time we take these poses. Maybe something's starting to let go in the neck, in the spine, in the hips. And maybe you stick right here with a few more cat-cows, or maybe you want to start swooping cat, where you inhale, come forwards as you arch the back, slightly exhale, round through the spine and bring the bum towards heels. Maybe this constant undulation move, where we're lubricating into the spine with constant movement. Maybe this is the one for you that's just getting a little bit more space in areas that need it. And this would be a good one to remember for tomorrow if you start feeling particularly tight as well. You can do these in the comfort of your bed. Last one here, inhale forwards and exhale round through the back. Good, settle the bottom all the way down to the heels. Knees can be together or wider apart in your child's pose. Take a deep breath and expand into your ribs. And as you exhale, soften, relax. And you can slightly push into the palm of the hands, just encouraging the hips to settle back as the bottom sits on the feet. Good, from here, walk the hands in towards you. We're going to interlock the fingers and just circle through the wrists here one way, circle it out the other way, and shake it out, bringing the arms behind you now. You can either hold elbow to elbow, and if this is enough, stay with this, or if possible, you could make Anjali Mudra, which is the prayer position, behind the back. And from there, we then encourage the elbows to press back, but without compromising by letting go in the ribs. Can you see, this is what wants to happen. We really let go in the ribs, but instead of doing that, really try and hug ribs towards hips, and therefore we're taking the stretch out of the spine and more into the shoulders as we open through this front area here. So whichever option you're going for, breathe 3 deep breaths here. Connect to your Ujjayi breath if you're familiar with it. Good. from here, slowly release the arms, come onto the shins, and we're going to turn ourselves sideways and extend the right leg out long and turn the toes so that they're facing forwards towards me. Good, now really press into that foot so we're engaged, as if we had magnets in the inner step here on the inside of the legs, as if we have magnets that we're trying to pull towards each other. Find stability in your core, and then inhale as we reach up and over, staying nice and strong in the core, and also pushing away with the outside edge of that foot from the leg that's extended. Maybe you start to free up the neck again here, either by releasing and looking down, getting those juicy stretches through the back. Or maybe you want to start looking up and gazing under this top armpit, rotating in the waist a little bit more as we find that full elongation that runs down the left armpit, the ribs, into the hip, and all the way down the side of that left leg. Good, one more deep breath here. Slowly come back to center and take the hands forwards in front of you now, and keep pushing into that foot of the leg that's extended as we cat and cow here. Inhale, relax the tummy, lift the tailbone, start to look up. Notice how different this feels in the hips. Exhale, round through the spine, push the back of your heart to the ceiling, tuck the tailbone. Let's do that again. Inhale to your cow. Hello, Banksy, joining us. And whenever your body is ready to exhale, that's your cue to go into your cat pose, rounding through the spine. Good, slowly come back to center. We're going to turn towards the leg that's extended, bend into it, and just shimmy the right foot out to the side. So it's on the outside of the right hand. Some people like to have this knee close to the right shoulder, and for some people's pelvises, as there are 4 different types of pelvis and we can't alter our bone structure, some people prefer to have their foot a little further out to the side. So if that's you, please do so now. Find what feels good. As we inhale, we shift the hips forwards, and as we exhale, we shift them back. Just notice all those niggles that we're clinging onto in the back of that right hip, and start matching this movement to the breath as we inhale forwards, exhale back. Try, if possible, not to compromise in the spine, especially when the hips go back. If you've got a lot of this happening in the spine, you can even walk the hands up to the hips so that we're able to keep a straight spine. And from there, if we tilt the pelvis forwards, imagining that the pelvis is a bowl of water and we're trying to pour some of that water out the front of the bowl, then we find much more elongation all the way down the back line of that body, lengthening through the hamstring. Good, last one here, tilt the hips forwards. Exhale, tilt them back. Good, step onto this right foot now. We're going to tuck the left back toes, transferring the weight onto this right leg as we step onto it. Tuck the left heel in. Find a moment of transition here as we lower the left leg. Tuck the right leg and step the right leg back behind you. Taking the hips back, we turn so we're facing forwards. I'm just going to shift sides so that you can see what I'm doing here. So this time we have the left leg out long and the toes are again turned so they're facing forwards. Pressing into the ground actively with that foot. Inhale, reach up with the right arm. And exhale, lift up and over. So we're finding that full elongation down the side of the right armpit, the ribs, into the hip, and down the side of that right leg as well. Keep on pushing into that left foot. And again, same thing here. Maybe you relax the neck and feel those juicy stretches down the back. Maybe you start to look up and peer under that right armpit slightly. So we're rotating in the waist, increasing the stretch. Big breath. Try not to dump the weight in the left hand on this leg. Make sure the fingertips are just lightly touching. One more breath wherever you're at. Slowly come back to center and take these hands forwards, finding our cat-cow from this position while still pressing down into that foot. As we inhale, relax the tummy, lift the tailbone, start to look up. And as you exhale, round through the spine, push the back of your heart to the ceiling, tuck the tailbone, squeeze pelvic floor. Again, inhale to your cow. See if you can tilt the pelvis forwards. And exhale to your cat, scooping, tucking tailbone underneath. Good. From here, come back to center. We now turn the left toes so they're facing forwards and bend towards this left leg. Same thing here. Maybe you want the leg a little closer to you, or maybe you want it out to the side, depending on what's comfortable for your pelvis. Whenever you're ready, we inhale, shift the hips forwards, and exhale, shift the hips back. Again, trying your best not to compromise in the spine. If you are rounding when you go back, it's okay, just walk the hands onto the hips and then keep the spine straight as you tilt the pelvis forwards just until it's enough of a stretch down the back of that left leg for you. A few more times here. Inhale, hips come forwards. Exhale, hips go back. Good. From here, we're going to shimmy that left foot over to the right hand. Take the left knee down to the ground as we prepare for our pigeon pose. Now tuck the back right toes for a second. Lift that back knee off the floor and then just slowly come onto the fingertips. And I want you to see if for at least one breath, if not more, aim for 3 to 5 breaths to squeeze your glutes, release the hands, and hold where you are. So we're in this active version of our pigeon pose for 3, 2, 1. Good, that's really challenging. Well done. Now think about all those muscles that were squeezing around the outside of the left hip, in the glutes, and now we relax everything that was squeezing there. Release that back toe if it's still tucked. You can increase this stretch by creeping the right leg back away from you. And maybe here you want to come down onto the forearms and find a little more space. That's a great option. If you're happy, you can stay onto the hands. Some other options that we have here are to bring in this back leg. Again, try and do that actively to begin with. So we're really using the activation of our hamstring. And then maybe you reach behind and manage to grab hold of the foot. Option here of bringing it into the elbow and joining the hands for a mermaid pose, or moving into flipping the grip for king pigeon. Whatever feels good for you here, play around with it. And another great active option here is if you have got that back foot in the hand, why not push the foot into the hand? Notice how that finds a little more length down the front of the right quad, and then as you release and pull the back foot in towards the glute, we're able to find a little more space in that quad. Good. Release here. Tuck the back toes and start creeping this leg towards you so we can release this left leg. We're going to stay bent on the left leg and just take that right leg out long, and nice and gently we're rocking forwards and back a few times. Getting more into that Achilles heel and calf on the right side. Let's come back to our deep breaths, or Ujjayi breath if you're familiar. Last time. Good, let's change sides. Bend the right knee, send the left leg out long, and we're going to step the right leg so that the right foot is just behind the left wrist, and then drop the knee down behind the right wrist. Keep on tucking those left back toes, and we're going to lift the back left knee off the floor. Slowly transition onto our fingertips, so already we're starting to use the core muscles. And then release when you're ready. Activate by squeezing in the glutes. You can make a mudra or hand gesture, prayer pose here, whatever works for you. We're here with the breath for 3. Keep pulling the right toes towards the right knee, 2. 1, good. Now release. And now that we have more awareness of all of the muscles that we're just activating, now try and let them go and find a passive range of motion here. And again, same options. Maybe you want to come down onto the forearms. If you start getting more and more comfortable, feel free to creep that back leg away from you to increase the stretch. Use your hamstring activation by bringing in the back leg. Maybe you reach behind and join the foot, push the foot into the hand. Option to then release and find that passive range of motion, or take your mermaid or king pigeon pose here. Good, last few breaths wherever you're at. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly release, tuck the back toes, creep that back leg in, and release that right knee round. We'll stay on the right knee as we extend the left leg with the toes tucked, and we just gently rock forwards and back, getting into the Achilles heel and the calf on that left side. Use the breath, slow it down, close off the eyes if you're comfortable, and take the awareness into the body. Good, last one here. Tuck the feet underneath you, and we're going to make our way just by jiggling the feet and hips side to side into a Malasana Yogi squat. Now place the feet as far as you need them. If you find that the heels don't touch the ground, your options here are to roll up your mat and tuck it under the heels. You can also use a block to rest the heels on, just so that you can find a little more relaxation. Wherever you are in your passive range of motion, I want you to come up just 1 inch or 2 so that we can find even more length in the spine, and then squeeze your glutes for 3, 2, 1. Good. You can relax back down to your passive range, and we're going to tuck the back of our hands into the sides of our hips, a little bit like a chicken. And then from here, you might need to lift the bottom a little bit as we tuck the elbows on the insides of the knees. Lower the bottom back down. Take a big inhale here and open the chest. And as you exhale, stay here if it's enough, or if you want a little more, start to squeeze your knees towards one another. Ooh, downward dog, Banksy, good boy. And you should be experiencing this really juicy stretch around the shoulders, around the front of the shoulder and the back. Really use the breath here and see if you can let go in the shoulders a little more with each exhale. Try not to compromise by rounding the spine again. This decreases the stretch. Increase the stretch by keeping that spine straight. Activating in the glutes. Using the strong breath. And we're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Slowly, slowly release. We're going to lower our bottom all the way to the ground. Connect the soles of the feet together. Supta Baddha Konasana as we take bound angle pose. If this is uncomfortable for you and you need a little elevation, feel free to place a block under the hips so that we can reduce the pressure on the lower back and in the hip flexors if they're particularly tight. From here, inhale, straighten the spine. As we exhale, use the thumbs on the inside of the feet to try and open the feet like a book. And as we tilt the pelvis forwards, maybe you round the spine and come forwards if it feels good. Maybe you stay sitting up straight if that's more comfortable for you. Take a moment here again just to reconnect. On the next breath, actively push your knees down towards the ground. And on the breath following, release that active push. And let go. Good. Slowly start to walk the hands back in towards you. If you're propped up on a block, release yourself. We'll take our windscreen wiper legs. So bend the feet in towards you once more. Fingertips are facing forwards as we inhale and open the chest. And we just knock the knees side to side. Rolling over the glutes and that fleshy part of our bottom. Really nice one to take after our hip openers like the pigeon as well. If you sometimes feel like the body is particularly tight and it gets almost frozen into a position after a stretch, then it's really good to add in these free movement patterns, like just rolling over the hips afterwards. Excellent. From here, slowly and using your core, we're going to round through the spine and lower down to our mats as if we were lowering one vertebra at a time. All the way back down to our mat, finding a shavasana that works for you. Either band angle pose again with the soles of the feet together and knees apart, or a regular shavasana with the feet in either corner of the mat. As we slightly scoop our shoulder blades underneath us, make space in the chest. Palms are open towards the ceiling. And take 3 deep breaths here again. You've earned them. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale. Let it go. Last time. Continue to breathe in and out through the nose. And please stay here for as long as you have today. Staying here with the breath. And then whenever you are ready, gently roll onto one side of the body, bringing in the knees into that fetal position. And keeping the eyes closed if possible. Make your way back to a comfortable seated position. Grounding through the sit bones, lengthening through the spine. Take 3 of your deepest breaths of the whole day so far. Thank yourselves for spending time on you, topping up your cup of self-love, for mobilizing and using the body and all of its wonderful gifts that we have. And thank you so much for joining me here for your post-run yoga. See you next time and take care. Namaste.